What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel and for another episode of our Hawaii Warriors Create a Team here in Madden 20 for some Flashback Pink Slips. We left the last episode with the biggest question we've had so far in this Pink Slip series. Who was going to be our starting quarterback? There were two predominantly big names that we were looking for you guys to decide upon. One, we have... Let's just show them. Actually, we'll do this first. There's one odd man out at that quarterback spot, and he was the man that got no shout-outs to be our potential starter. That's Seneca Wallace, who, oddly enough, is the highest overall. But the big question came down to who should be our starting quarterback. Should it be Ryan Fitzpatrick, or should it be Colt Brennan? Ryan Fitzpatrick, obviously, Fitzmagic, Fear the Beard, meme-tacular. I think I'm a huge fan of what he's been able to do in the second half of his career. Feels like when he was like, I don't know, it almost feels like when he was trying to be a starter, like when he got paid big money from the Buffalo Bills, he was just like, you know, go away in a ways. But then once he became the backup and like the super sub, like would come in and start playing, he was awesome. You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Bucs is awesome. Ryan Fitzpatrick last year with the Dolphins was awesome in real life. So, based upon the YouTube poll, it was like 75% people voted for Ryan Fitzpatrick to be our starter quarterback. However, on Twitter and on my Discord, it was overwhelmingly trending towards going with Colt Brennan because of the ties. He's the most successful quarterback that the University of Hawaii has ever had. And being able to get a guy like Chip Kelly turning in a 54 overall quarterback and finding ways to win is definitely something that appeals. However, for the time, I mean, they're not going anywhere. We're not going to cut any of them. But for the time being, I feel like we need to go with like the 7,000 people that voted on YouTube. 75% of you guys want to see Ryan Fitzpatrick as our starter. But knowing if he does have a couple bad games, as it costs our team a couple wins here and there, we will have to, you know, it's a very short leash for whoever was going to be our starter day one, week one, be it Fitzpatrick or Colt Brennan, because both these guys play very well in the system, as we saw through the first couple preseason games. And I'm excited. We're going with Ryan Fitzpatrick as our starter for right now. But don't be surprised if you see Colt Brennan peek up his Hawaii tattooed goddamn head pretty much, even though it's just a design in his hair, as our potential starter. So what I've done, if you've been sleeping under a rock, you should know that we've had some issues with Pink Slips. We've had some issues with the home games on Pink Slips. And as it stands right now, I'm not going to be able to play our home games. I can super sim it. That works fine, but I can't physically go in and play because it's bugged out the wazoo. So what I have done is, and what I'm going to have to do, is that for the most part, like 90% of my schedule is going to be alternating. So I'm going to always have in our 4 games that we present in every single episode, 2 home and 2 away games for the most part. So that way there, you still get your 2 gameplays, your 2 sims. It just kind of sucks for the guy that made my pretty dope looking stadium that until we figure out a fix, we're not going to be able to play any home games. But in reality, it's not really going to change the presentation of this series because you're still going to get your 2 gameplays, your 2 sim plays, and everything in between. So here we go, week 1, and we kick off with some gameplay on the road against the Denver Broncos. In this episode, we will play Denver, we will sim the Oilers, we will sim the Colts. Oh boy, 2 divisional games, and we will play that week 4 game against the Miami Dolphins. I don't really know if there's any other changes. I mean, we haven't really talked a lot about our draft class, even though we got a little upgrade there. Fitzpatrick now a 70 overall, cool. We haven't talked a whole lot about our draft class because we've been focusing more so on how we can get this series working. So yeah, we got Deshaun Jackson, Danny Amendola, and Pierre Garçon all at the wide receiver spot. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson is going to be the bigger name of that, but there's definitely some depth now. We now have some competent depth at the wide receiver position. We also got Schwartz here at tackle, who looks pretty nice. We signed Willie Parker in free agency. Got him away from the Houston Oilers. I got a new face scan for Delaney Walker. He had a generic face. Now we got a guy that looks like Delaney Walker, which is outstanding. On the defensive side, we brought in Ruben. We got more so depth on the defensive line. Cliff Averill has that hidden depth. Could be interesting. We got Brent Grimes. We won him very late. We have yet to actually hop in and play some gameplay with Brent Grimes, really. So that's going to be nice to see if he can establish himself as the other outside corner alongside Darrelle Revis. We got Tyvon Branch in the draft. And yeah, that's about it. We actually got a lot of skill points to be spending here. We got Dante Whitner, who we're trying. We converted him from a safety to a linebacker. We got David Harris, who's definitely looking like we actually will keep him going there. See, that comes a big, give and take when I'm spending the XP here, because in one hand, I do want these guys, some of the guys anyways, to be long-term fixtures on my team. So I want them to kind of be built up and spend their points to get them to be a scheme fit from their player archetype standpoint. But other guys, you just want the highest overall possible so that when you win, you can get potentially a better player in your star rating. So it always is a little bit of a give and take. Ooh, Deshaun Golson coming out with a superstar dev as well. I mean, the good news about getting depth like that, getting depth superstar guys, is that when we realistically try to poach players away in the rare event that we lose a game, it makes a lot more sense to get the star dev players if you're a team trying to poach someone than it would be getting a higher rated normal dev. So it does kind of give us some shielding to prevent some of our bigger name players, or more established name players, because guys in other teams are going to want to poach the dev trades first and the name values second. So without further ado, we have this week 1 game against the Denver Broncos. Let's get a very, very quick look at what this Bronco roster looks like from a superstar dev point. They got Clinton Portis, Bryant McKinney, Al Wilson, Trevor Pryce, Jason Neal, and Joe Staley on the offensive line. It's a winnable game. We are at this point in year 2 of the Hawaii Warriors, starting to be better. We're probably, middle, upper middle, probably just, it'll be easier to say just middle of the pack team right now, which is definitely better than a bottom 5 team, which is where we started out as. So as we kick off this 2008 season against the Denver Broncos, we're looking to bring the pain. All right, Chip, here is your starter as voted on by you guys. Look at that stud. Go, good first run, Adrian Peterson. That's the number 1 thing in the comments is feed Adrian Peterson more. He was the number 1 running back last year. Unless there's a hint of sarcasm to that I just cannot pick up. I don't know how much more we could feed him. You guys want me to get some LaDainian Tomlinson numbers with him, where you get where you get 28? Come on. Just not enough speed. Where you get 2,800 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns or something like that. You guys not gonna be happy till we do that? 1st and 10 on the 15. Ooh, baby. Calvin Johnson. What are we saying? Can we throw it out to Megatron and it's just any 50-50 ball he is going to come down with? Anything more than that, you might as well just have no one covering him, because that's what it feels like. That was okay coverage, and it's just, oh yeah, he's a monster. Great pass, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Great way to start off the season. A little bit of AP, and you finish off with some Megatron. What is this? Here comes the... Oh no, Delaney got murked. Oh, come on. Fitz, man. I don't know who that is returning that back. That was, Jesus, what a hit. I think that would have been Al Wilson. Laying the lumber on Delaney Walker. And he triggered his little X factor. That's how we got the separation. And then absolutely just destroyed. Oh, I got Adrian Peterson in the zone. I have no idea what his ability is. We don't even need to use it. Equalizer. Our offense is very much our 2 superstars making ridiculous plays to bail out a very low-rated quarterback. And that's not dogging Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's just, he's a 70 overall quarterback. Probably the lowest-rated starter in the league.
That's terrible.
Oh, just Clinton Portis and Bears. I'm telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, the most overrated player on this squad is Troy Polamalu. He has done nothing. And anytime he has a chance to make a play, he gets embarrassed just like that. Look at this. Troy Polamalu free shot. Oh, and just brushes him off. Too easy. They're just going to the tight end. They're just checking down. It's their offense. Check downs. Ooh, Deshaun Jackson. His first chance to make a play, and he brings it down. Messes up the juke a little bit. Probably should, with his athleticism, made that guy miss. But I like that. First catch of his NFL career. Deshaun Jackson deep downfield. 3rd and 7 on the 14. I'm definitely going to be looking Delaney Walker, Willie Parker as our first 2 reads, and I'm so annoyed that we didn't throw that to Willie Parker. Come on. Terrible throw. Terrible decision. Let's go to Sean. Let's go to Sean. Get out of bounds. Oh, it went low. It went low, and Deshaun Jackson survives contact. And this is a very hard-hitting defense, as saw by the Delaney Walker fumble. That's a tough catch, man. For a guy that came in, the big knock on Deshaun Jackson and the Cal was his size. He's getting it tested right there. Adrian Peterson, X Factor triggered. And right before the end of the first half, gets the equalizer. Second touchdown of the game.
Drop!
Oh! The one guy, Justin McCarrons, gets his second drop. He's feeling like the odd man out. You bring in Deshaun Jackson, you bring in Megatron. He starts feeling like the odd man out in the offseason. That is a catch he made 10 times out of 10 last year. Brutal drop. Oh, come on. Deshaun Jackson run. Come. Fitzmagic. Didn't see any of it right there. Second and 10, just come back in with a screen. Even getting into field goal range would be ideal. And I have no idea what Adrian Peterson's X Factor is. It's a wrecking ball. I assume that's for trucks. I don't know. I haven't hit one since he's been in it for 2.5 quarters.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
Face mask. Face mask. Bad technique.
56. Mike's 56.
First and goal on the 2. We got Willie Parker's out there. I don't know why. Would rather Adrian Peterson for the star ratings, but hey, like, you know, I want in a weird way. Obviously, Adrian Peterson is our lead back, but I also want Willie Parker to eat a little bit. So hey, I like him getting a little score here. He deserves it after he got his head almost ripped off on that face mask. Oh, come on. Someone get pressure. Lights out. Relentless work ethic. Don't piss test him. We already know that's shady. Big time sack. Okay, we'll go Tampa 2. 4th and 8. They still technically could get a first down. This is where I want to see Sean Merriman just end this game. Take this game over as my X Factor edge rusher. For the love of God. Or Troy Polamalu. Let's go. Finally, he does something. Here, we won the game, and we won by 14, so that is 1.5 star right there off the rip. We didn't get anything from Fitzpatrick, who, you know, that was okay showing. Definitely wasn't, I mean, we wanted to run the ball. Adrian Peterson gets 1 full star for 250 rushing yards. He gets a half star for 3 rushing touchdowns, so that puts us at 1.5 stars for Adrian Peterson. On the receiving standpoint, we got over 100 yards for Deshaun Jackson in his debut game in the NFL, so hits the ground running there. That is worth half a star. And on the defensive side, very close to getting something for Haloti Ngata, but we did get a half star for Troy Polamalu's end zone interception, which gives us a 4-star performance, a +8 upgrade to get someone away from the Denver Broncos. Use our full +8 here on an upgrade that's, you know, it's a move I think we need to make for our depth, because we have a weird defensive end. Because we have Haloti Ngata playing defensive end just so I can make him a sub-rush DN. He should be a D-tackle, so that when everything kind of flexes out, we've had like David Harris, like linebackers filling in for that outside DN spot when Haloti Ngata moves into D-tackle. So I need someone that can play right now, and Lamar Woodley's just going to take a little long to get to where we need him to be as a 74 star. So we're going to flip him there for Calvin Pace, who's an 82 star. Obviously, there is an age difference, but for where we are trying to get to win right now, I think that's the best decision for our defensive line. So week 2, we have our first sim game at home against division rival Houston Oilers. So for those that don't remember, we implemented a brand new rule that when we sim a game, we have the total star rating. So it's not like you're getting just destroyed when the sim cheese goes against you. And we're coming in hot. Adrian Peterson got himself an AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors in week 1. You see, what is we got there? Deuce McAllister. That's just the difference right there. Deuce McAllister. Oh, that's pretty good in the NFC. Oh, he had 163 yards and a touchdown. Oh, he had okay, never mind. Actually, when you combine the receiving yards, it's pretty damn impressive. I did not see he had 6 catches for 105 yards. But goddamn, 2 really, really good performances there to kick off the season. And hopefully the sim does the same and feeds Adrian Peterson and Willie Parker here against the Oilers. I know Willie Parker for sure would love to have a massive game against his former team. Well, this is still a Houston Oilers team that is insane. They're an 86 overall. I don't even think there's going to be a team that's relatively close to them in terms of we're just getting destroyed here. My God. Fitzpatrick doesn't know what this game's about, doesn't know what the rivalry is about. Was not prepared. I can already tell you they're not handing the ball off nearly enough to Adrian Peterson. But hey, we get a touchdown, finally. Get on the scoreboard there. I appreciate that, but this is just an ass kicking. But luckily enough, with the new rules, it's essentially impossible to lose by 5 stars. Unless they somehow get a 10-star performance. It's going to be pretty close by how bad we just got whooped. But in our first sim game, the team does not show up whatsoever. I am shocked. Adrian Peterson had 8 carries for 12 yards, and that's exactly why we started to have these scores, because they're ridiculous. Calculating the stars here, they won the game by 14, and it's a divisional victory, so it's 2.5 stars right there. They had the plus minus in the turnover, which is half a star. We had 3 touchdowns for Eli Manning, which is half a star. We had 100+ rushing yards for Steven Jackson, which is half a star. They had 2 receiving touchdowns for Andre Johnson, which is half a star. Defensively, 2 sacks. Julian Peterson is half a star, and the interception from John Beeson is a half a star. It's a 5.5 star performance. You cut that in half. 2.75, 2 3/4. It rounds up to a 3-star performance for the Houston Oilers, a +6 upgrade. So here's how the trade is going to work out. Blaylock is a starting guard for them. He's actually not a brutal looking prospect, but for a team like Houston that's looking to win now, getting 5-point upgrade on the offensive line for still a guy that's in his prime, you are losing a dev trait there, but that's a good +5 for them to solidify that O-line. And then they're going to get an upgrade for a rookie receiver. They're going to flip Andre Caldwell, who is a 65 overall, for Pierre Garçon, who's a 66 with a hidden dev. And just like that, there goes our future starting slot wide receiver. Very annoying. But hey, at least we didn't lose Deshaun Jackson. Week 3. So before we get into the sim game, we can import our 09 draft class. So here's the 09 draft class. For those of you that don't remember, at least some of the top prospects won the first round. We got Matt Stafford at quarterback. Definitely one that would interest us. Highly unlikely we'll be in a position to pick him. I know there's been a lot of huff and puff about Fitzpatrick and Colt Brennan. If there's a chance that we can draft Matthew Stafford, I might be inclined. We see a couple busts here. Aaron Curry, one of the biggest busts of all time for how hyped he was coming to Wake Forest. You got Sanchez, not really. Darius Hayward-Bay, BJ Raji, Michael Crabtree, Noshawn Marino, Brian Orakpo, Malcolm Jenkins, Brian Cushing, Josh Freeman, another QB. Ugh. Jeremy Maclin. We got Percy Harvin, Alex Mack in the first round. Clay Matthews. All right, there's some really nice players before we get into scouting. What do we got at quarterback, though, just to be sure? Outside of Stafford, anyone that's remotely interesting to me. I mean, depending on how we scout Freeman, obviously Pat White was a freak, ahead of his time. In today's NFL, in a Chip Kelly offense, Pat White might work out. There is just Chase Daniel, Brian Hoyer, Graham Harrell. It's another year of if we can't get, like last year, it's like if you can't get Matt Ryan, probably don't want any quarterbacks. If you can't get Matt Stafford, probably don't want any quarterbacks. But I don't know. You guys can look through the 09 draft, like Shady's there. Find out some top names you really want me to draft. At least try to draft it. Obviously, we'll periodically update and show you guys my scouting list, because right now we've just done special teams. We had Morstead. Pat McAfee, I guess, came out as a kicker, but I obviously getting for the brand would be awesome. More likely we'd have to get him as a UDFA because I'm not using a first-round pick on Pat McAfee. But I'd love to have him on the squad, yeah. And I started a couple of the safeties here. Sanford, I'm going to scout Mike Mitchell, Patrick Chung, and Malcolm Jenkins. On the season, it is the Colts. Another divisional matchup that, it's only a matter of time. Edgerrin James has 700 yards against us. So, I'm fully prepared to eat a couple L's early on this season. But hey, like that, instant touchdown, we're fighting. We are definitely fighting here. Not rolling over like last week. Hopefully it won't be anything worse than like a, +4, +3, something like that. I don't know. We're tying up 21 apiece. Everything to play for here in the fourth quarter. Colts get a go-ahead field goal. 3 minutes to go. And we got to punt it. We had to punt it. I'm not hopping in. I'm not doing anything like that. There's a 3-point loss. Deserved loss. Fitzpatrick not playing good at all in the sim. Hey, at least Adrian Peterson got 100 yards. For this game, the Colts won, and it was a divisional victory, so they got 2 stars right off the rip. Looking at the player performances, Peyton Manning dominated. 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, so the 300 plus, 3 total touchdowns is worth 1 star for Peyton Manning. We actually did an okay job against Edgerrin James. They got a half star for Amari Toomer going over 100 yards. They got nothing from the defense, which is good. It is a 3.5 star performance. Cut that in half, 1.75 round up. It's a 2-star performance for the Colts, a +4 upgrade. Now I took a little bit of liberty with this. They're only using 3 of the +4 they have because the upgrade's gonna be massive. They're gonna flip 77 overall Corey Webster, who's not a bad looking player by any means, but they're gonna be able to get Brent Grimes, 80 superstar X Factor. Bad loss. Bad loss. Hey, and we're getting ready to finish the episode. Must win. Sitting at 1-2, want to break even, get to 500 against the Miami Dolphins. But before we do that, we got almost 5,000 XP here for Chip Kelly, which we clearly need to spend as much as that as we can, which we have enough to get a quarterback trading boost for both Fitzpatrick and Colt Brennan. They both definitely could use it. There we go, McCarron's exactly what we need. Knowing that the offense is really bad in the sim, this is like the games that we actually get into play, we got to aerate it, man. We got to get Calvin Johnson his touches because he's not getting those looks in this sim. We're here in primetime football. This is definitely a showcase game. We're still the new team on the block. People are aware of the Cinderella story last year that they made the playoffs, but they don't really know much about the Warriors other than the fact that Adrian Peterson just got knocked back 7 goddamn yards. So in primetime football, we got to make the most of our opportunities. We got to show that we play an exciting brand of football so that the neutrals go like, man, I think I can become a fan of that team. They have dope jerseys, and they just do things like this. And whoa, okay, that's going to be a catch. I thought that was going to be a touchdown. I thought I was going to casually narrate a touchdown there, and we didn't even draw a PI. What do we face? 3rd and 6. I guess we'll try and get to this Megatron. Megatron and Deshaun Jackson at the top of your screen. I mean, throw it to Deshaun maybe. That was almost picked. That was just terrible decision making. Settle for a field goal on our opening drive. There we go. AP on the screen pass. Even though we did more so bring in Willie Parker to be our receiving back. Adrian Peterson showed off last year. What, he had like 400 or 500 yards receiving. He can get that job done too. He definitely can. 1st and 10. Who? We go to Delaney. Beautiful. We got Megatron. You got Deshaun Jackson, but you can't forget we have the number, at least statistically from last season, the #1 tight end in the National Football League in a Delaney Walker. If Adrian Peterson do that, that's a great look. Slants cheese, no regrets. Little bit of regrets. And we go to Justin McCarron's. Safe grab, secure grab, 1st touchdown of the game. Why do I even think about simming? Why do I even think about simming? That's all that ever happens. Turn the corner, Delaney. Turn the corner, Delaney. Beautiful. Only guy out there we trust, Deshaun Jackson, Calvin Johnson off the field, you know, getting some Gatorade, getting some oxygen on the sidelines. Delaney Walker's the only threat, and just like that, runs a terrific route, gets behind the linebackers, and there's a little touchdown right before halftime. Oh, Delaney Walker wide open, 2nd touchdown. I mean, it was maybe not super wide open, it was contested, but there for just the star rating alone, beautiful. 3rd touchdown, half star for the quarterback. 2nd touchdown for Delaney, half star for that. Maximizing our touchdowns for Pink Slips. Can we get something to Calvin? Can we get something to Megatron here so we can do something and drop? What? It's like did the aliens come from outer space with a football that was glowing and they got him to touch it and it sucked all his talent? Did the plot of Space Jam happened to Megatron during the offseason? That is the only thing I can explain why he has more drops than catches, it feels like, this season. 3rd and goal. It wants us to knee, but I kind of want to run the score up a little bit. Slants. I'm only on the Megatron. I'm not slanting this for anybody else. Is only trying to get Calvin Johnson, get some confidence in this guy's game. There. Thank God. Can this start the wheels to get churning for you to do something? Here we won the game. We won by more than 14, so it's a 1.5 star score just from the win. We won the turnover battle, which is worth half a star. For the individual performance there, Fitzpatrick had 4 passing touchdowns, which is worth half a star. 100 rushing yards for Adrian Peterson's half a star. 2 receiving touchdowns for Delaney Walker's half a star. And defensively, it must have been one of those Sims. I missed that. Dante Whitner had an interception, which is also worth half a star. So that gives us a 4-star performance, a +8 upgrade to get a player away from the Miami Dolphins. There's no rules that I have to spend all my points, so I'm actually only going to spend 2 of 8. And this is a perfect scenario. So we're going to flip Joperu, who's a 71 normal tight end. We're going to flip Webster, who we actually just got when we lost our Superstar X Factor in Brent Grimes, who's 77. And we got Delta O'Neal, been a long-serving player, but he's just super old now, 31 Superstar. We're going to flip that. Delta O'Neal, 1 point to get DRC, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, corner, rookie. We're going to flip Webster to get Cortland Finnegan. We're not going to spend that point. He's a 78 star, only 24. And we're going to get Marty B. Martellus Bennett, 71 hidden dev, costing us 0. So yeah, there's no rule. You don't have to use your +8. So we're making the most of adding some youth to this squad. Alright, so after that and getting 2 brand shiny new corners, that is how we're going to finish on up 2-2. I think Fitzpatrick got an offensive player. So in our 2 wins, we've had 2 offensive players of the week. Fitzpatrick, 4 touchdowns, 250 yards, no interceptions, a clean game. I'm very frustrated with Megatron right now. He has not done diddly squat. I do have a feeling, though, the next game is going to go for like 280 and 4 touchdowns or something crazy like that. But, yeah, I mean, the next episode we'll have 4 games for you. We have the 2 away games there with the Cardinals and the Oilers, and we'll have the home game against the Chiefs. We'll sim the bye and get to that home game against the San Francisco 49ers. But we're 2-2, last in the division. Doesn't feel great. Does not feel great. Losing a Superstar X Factor also does not feel great. But how do you guys feel about the quarterback? Do we keep on keeping on with Fitzpatrick? Obviously has all his momentum, or at least the most momentum he's had this season, coming off player of the week. Or should we start shortening at least a little bit and maybe get Colt Brennan a game or 2? I think we stay with Fitzpatrick, but I'm all about what you guys want to see. And that will do it for this episode. So as always, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button if it's your first time stopping by. Very close to 130,000 subscribers. So that'll be pretty dope. We can hit that in the next week or so. Smash that like button if you enjoyed. Likes help the video a crazy amount on YouTube. And I'll catch you guys back here in a day or so for a new episode of Flashback Pinks. Peace out.